I always do it. We go up from the hind of a buffalo, and you put one bullet between the shoulder blades just to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year, I think the year before that November month, last hunt of the season, that buffalo it already gave the death bellow, and we walked up to it, and the bull jumped up and he charged us.
Welcome to the Big Game Hunting Podcast, where we help hunters like you prepare for the big game hunting adventures you've always dreamed of. Now, here's your host, John McAdams.
Hello, John McAdams here, and you are listening to episode 377 of the Big Game Hunting Podcast. I sat down with Kobus Kok, one of my African professional hunters, at the Dallas Safari Club convention earlier in 2025, and he and I recorded a short interview, and we talked about stuff like how he got started in this line of work. We talked about some funny and noteworthy experiences he has had over the years, including 2 stories of extremely close encounters with buffalo and one kudu hunt that took place in the snow. Now, Kobus and I recorded this episode using a portable audio recorder, so the audio is not up to my normal standards, and I apologize in advance for any distortions, echoes, any of that stuff. Even so, the content is great. I know you will enjoy it. Before I get started talking to Kobus, if you want to hunt Africa, we still have 1 opening remaining for a free state hunt in October 2025. That's the same area where the kudu hunt in the snow took place that we talk about in this episode, but there will probably be no snow there in October, though. 2025 is full otherwise besides that October opening in the Free State. We do have availability in April, May, September, October, and November 2026 in either Limpopo or the Free State provinces. Visit bestsafarihunt.com for more details or email me, john@thebiggamehuntingblog.com, and we'll set you up with your dream hunt in Africa. Now also, listen to episode 356 to hear my interview with Kobus's partner, Johan Seifert, that he and I also recorded at Dallas Safari Club. But now, let's get started talking to Kobus. All right, well, Kobus, it is wonderful seeing you here at the Dallas Safari Club show. It's always great to see you, but you're in the United States again, and I'm excited to sit down and just chat with you on the podcast. So thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, John. Yeah, happy to be here.
So first question for you, when did you become a professional hunter, and why did you choose that career path?
John, I was brought up in a hunting family. My grandfather, my father, everybody, we were in hunting. It was a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it was nothing new. You know, like I said, my father also, he was hunting.
Mm-hmm.
He was guiding people. And later on, I was brought up with a gun in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just one of those things. I want to hunt.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a PH.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 45 years old now, and I got my license just when I turned 21.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more than 20 years ago that I've been basically full-time professional hunter.
What did you do, say, after you turned 18 and whatnot, but before you became a professional hunter?
I worked a little bit in Botswana on cattle ranches, branding cattle.
Okay.
And I worked for another outfit a little bit in Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
That time it was Bayete Ventures. But the guy quit hunting. And then I did a little bit of horse guiding as well.
Horse guiding?
Horse guiding at the resort.
Really? So people would get on horseback and you take them on a game?
Take them on a game, like a game drive. You take them up in the mountains. And so I did a little bit of that as well. But later on, the PH thing was a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you ever work with your dad as a PH, or had he kind of retired by the time that you got that?
He retired. Yeah, he retired. But on a lot of my hunts, he helped me. Gave me advice.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I mean, it's nice to have someone that you trust that knows the road.
Yeah, especially when it comes to buffaloes. There were so many times when we wounded something, and he will call me on the radio and tell me, go back and do this and do this and do this. And then if you look back now, it just worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd made those mistakes before when he was 25 or whatever.
Exactly. So he would just tell me, go and look at this and this and this, and normally it works.
Where have you guided hunts other than South Africa?
I got it in Botswana, Mozambique as well.
Mm-hmm.
I got it a little bit in Mozambique as well.
How long did you hunt there? When were you there?
2010, 2009, I worked a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was more or less the time I was up there, up north. Yeah.
You hunting buffalo mainly?
Buffalo. We hunted buffalo, a little bit of crocodile, sable, and so on, yeah.
But you're originally from South Africa,
Yes,
right?
I'm from South Africa, a small town in a bushveld called the Great Mariku.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of stories and books out about the Mariku.
Where in South Africa is that?
It's in Northwest Province.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's now Limpopo?
No, it's on the border of Limpopo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
So you got your professional hunting license in when you said you turned 21.
21, yes, that's correct.
And then you worked as a freelance PH?
Freelance.
Yeah.
My dad also told me go and work for as many people as you can to see how they operate, and it will help you. Down the line, you will say thank.
Mm-hmm. And so you guided hunts for buffalo and whatnot, like you said, in Mozambique, but you also worked in South Africa too?
In South Africa, yeah. I worked for quite a lot of outfits in South Africa. In the beginning, you just like a happy PH, a camp jack, as you call it.
Yeah.
And later on, I think I was 25. I got my dangerous game license, and that's it. And from there on, it was just going better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so, after you worked for a little while as a freelance professional hunter, you eventually started your own outfitter with Johan. Why did you guys do that instead of continuing to be a freelance, and what was your vision for doing so?
I don't know. Me and Johan, we met in, I think, 2008, 2009, more or less. And it was on a buffalo hunt because he can speak French. And we guided a French guy, and we became French. That time I had a pack of dogs as well. So we were hunting bushpig every Saturday. So I invited Johan and to come and hunt with me. And later on, we became really good friends. And we were sitting talking the one day, and we decided, he's got a lot of contacts in France. And so let's give it a try. And it just worked. And then from there on, that's how it ended.
Yeah. So you guys met each other 2009, 2010. You worked with each other over the next couple of years. I met Johan, and I started talking to Johan in 2012, and then things kind of took off after that, late 2012, 2013.
Yes.
And, here we are all these years later.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite animal is to hunt?
Yeah, John, all our African game, they special. But me personally, I like to hunt buffalo because they're super intelligent. You never know what you're going to get. So, but also I love kudu. I've got a soft spot for kudu bulls. That's one of my favorite antelopes. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
It's always a challenge. Yeah.
Your description of buffalo is a good one, because people that have never hunted buffalo before, they just hear about them. There's a misconception, I think, that they're just kind of a big, stupid brute. Yeah. And you don't think that's the case? No.
Buffaloes, my personal experience over the years, they're very intelligent. They super animals.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of plans to kill you. Yeah. More than you have. But buffaloes, you can see when the wheels are turning, they've got a plan. So and each and every buffalo, they got like their own, what they call it, like a personality. Yeah, they just super animals. Yeah, it's a challenge always.
Well, and you've hunted a lot of buffalo over the years too.
Yeah, I cannot really say how many, but I've shot quite a lot of buffaloes.
Yeah, I mean, you've shot a lot yourself. You've guided a lot of people on buffalo, and I mean, like you said, that's what you met Johan doing.
And that time I was big time into the buffaloes.
Yeah. So a lot of clients have told me over the years that you've told them some really funny stories in camp. Is there anything that you can think of right now that comes to mind that you want to share with us?
Yeah, yes, John. Yeah, there's so many stories, but one of the funny things is always when we were younger, we used to, if you shoot the impala way out in the bush, and then we used to carry it out ourselves. Or
Okay.
we'll tell the client, if it's a man thing, you carry out your own animal. So it was always funny to me behind the client's back, the trackers, they've got a good sense of humor. They will bet among each other how far this client will be able to carry this impala, and then they will, in their own language, they will laugh about it, and then they will see how far this guy can carry impala. And it's actually funny because a lot of guys will show up. He's a big, full of muscles, and then the guys will joke, and then he won't be able to carry the animal not even 100 yards, and then he will collapse. And then tonight in camp, everybody will have a good laugh, and then they will, yeah.
I mean, you guys made me carry my impala out when I went on my first hunt with you.
That was good times.
Yeah, I didn't know if anyone was making or losing money on that bet with me.
I can't remember, but that was always a funny one to the guys they work here.
And, we were talking the other day, Mike Stilson, the veteran that we brought over in 2017, he carried his impala out as well.
I take my hat off for Mike. Yeah, he was he's not a big guy, and he was, he's a veteran. But he carried his own animal out of the Limpopo River, yeah.
Well, you have guided hunts for a long time. So you said, 20 plus years at this point. Yeah. And you've dealt with a lot of clients that have hunted a lot of things, have had very different attitudes, different experiences about things.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've dealt with some hunters that had an especially inspiring story or were especially appreciative or something like that of the hunt. What do you think?
Through the years, you deal with a lot of different nationalities, different people, strange people, funny people, good people, bad people. You get them all. You never know what you're going to get. But, through the years, there's certain hunts that you remember. A specific guy where, I think we guided him 2 years ago. I'm not going to go into the name, but anyway, he waited more than 30 years for his safari, his African safari. And he saved his money, and he came to Africa, and him and his wife, they were just great people. And everything you showed him, even in, like I said earlier, if it was a small thing, they appreciate it. And you could see when that buffalo was down, it was tears.
I remember talking to him before his hunt, and I talk to people all the time, and you can tell how serious someone is or how much they know about something by the type of questions they ask. And I could definitely tell by the questions this guy had done his research on things. Okay, should I do this or should I do that? Okay, you should do this. Okay, no problem, John. And he also listens when I tell him to do that, and he shows up and he pays attention, and then he has a good hunt with you. And
it was a great hunt. And another thing is, the whole time he listened to us, to me and Philemon the tracker. If you tell him, he trusted us. That's the main thing. When you hunt buffalo or basically any animal, but especially on buffalo, you need to trust your PH. So he trusted us the whole time. Even when the rifle cut his eyebrow open like in bad, I fixed it up and we carried on hunting. There was no going back to camp or whatever. So it was just great. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how things ended with his buffalo in particular, how you got him on it and what he ended up doing and all.
We worked hard the whole week. I can't remember. There was a 10-day hunt. Yeah. And I think we shot the buffalo here by day 6 or 7. So the bush was quite thick, and we walked a lot. He was quite an old guy, but he did his thing. So we walked a lot, and one morning the wind was good. We walked into a waterhole, and as we walked in, we could see the buffalo bulls coming in from the other side. So we went closer, and we put out the sticks, and the bull that we wanted came out, and he made a perfect shot. I think he used the 416, and we waited, say, 20 minutes. We did the follow-up, and we just, pay the insurance. Yeah.
So, I mean, he shot that buffalo and it ran 50 yards and you found it and it was dead.
Everything was like textbook out.
Yeah, so exactly how you want it to do. Yeah.
And he was such a nice guy and he shot a great bull. So I think, he deserved it.
Yeah, there's guys like that I know you're always happy when your clients are successful and have a good hunt, but there's some guys that you especially are pulling for. Like
that man. I was really happy for him. Everything was just perfect.
That was a good guy. He's actually coming back again this year.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah, he wanted a kudu on that hunt, but he said, the buffaloes is the priority, and he saw kudu, but they just weren't mature.
No, there was no clear shot and so on. Yeah.
Yep. And so we're bringing him back, and hopefully he'll have better luck with that kudu this year.
We'll put him on a kudu. Then this time we will just, we will focus on kudu first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming in April, May too, so
it's a good time.
Yeah, he'll be there for the rut.
Yeah. No, that's a good time.
Here at GoFundMe, we know that everyone has something they care about, but not everyone knows they can do something about it.
I was shocked at the response I got when I started a GoFundMe from my local animal shelter. I raised thousands of dollars, some of that from strangers.
I was feeling really helpless about what was happening in the world and just decided to start a GoFundMe for a mural that I wanted to paint in town. It took less time to set up and start than even opening my paint cans. And now the whole community has something beautiful to look at.
I really wanted to study law, but I couldn't afford the tuition. So I launched my GoFundMe. I got my tuition money, and I got so many comments of support and love. It was just amazing.
Every dollar counts. Every cause counts. GoFundMe helps you make a real difference. Start your GoFundMe today at GoFundMe.com. That's GoFundMe.com. GoFundMe.com. This is a commercial message brought to you by GoFundMe, with actors voicing experiences inspired by our users.
So what is a common misconception that a lot of visiting hunters have?
John, I think a lot of hunters, they show up in especially South Africa. They think if you take them to a farm or a ranch, because of the fences, it's going to be like a walk in a park. It's like in a zoo, and it's not. The farms are quite big. The areas that we hunt on are quite big. So, a lot of people, they think because of the fence, it's shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
And it's not. And when you're wounding something, it's also, then they start seeing the other side of the hunt. Yeah. You can walk for days.
Mm-hmm.
By yourself, if you wound a wildebeest or a buffalo, whatever.
Yeah.
You can carry on forever.
Yeah.
And animals like kudu bulls, example, you cannot really keep them in. If they want to go, they go. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the biggest mistake everybody make. It's going to be, because it's fenced, it's just going to be easy, and it's not.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. And your land is thickly vegetated as well.
Yeah, the bush is so thick, and it's
there's lots of places to hide in there.
Yeah. Sometimes on the farm, you look, we permanently on the farm, and you can drive around for 2 weeks and you don't see, say, example, the elands. Mm-hmm. They just disappear. And then the next morning, they're there.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Yeah. What is the common mistake that guys make, especially on their first hunt?
I think what the mistake they make is they need to shoot faster because of the bush is thick. So, and our animals like kudus and so on, they don't really hang around. So if you put the sticks out, it comes back again. Trust your tracker, trust your pH. If the sticks is out and we tell you that bull, if your crosshair is on the right spot, take him. Don't wait too long. Another thing is the safety catch. A lot of people, they don't know their rifles very well. Mm-hmm. I personally think a lot of guys before coming to Africa, they need to practice more from shooting sticks, offhand shooting. In the bushveld, we don't shoot that far. So I would say they must just go to the range and practice more. It's not helping a week or two before you hunt. You take your rifle out, you go to the range, fire 5 rounds, and it's zeroed. And you get to the farm, we go to the range, you fire 2 rounds, you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
The rifle is good, but yeah.
Yeah, you make a good point. This is a deal where, for the most part, these animals are pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, an Impala is not giant, but I mean, you don't have to shoot, you don't have to hit a quarter on something.
Exactly.
You have a target that's several inches in diameter, and it's not a far shot.
Yeah.
And it's more important for a guy to get on the sticks quickly.
Yes.
And take advantage of that shooting window that you have in the bush.
Yeah.
And because you may only have 10 seconds.
10 seconds max.
To make a shot.
Yeah.
And then if you're trying to get perfect and hit it exactly on the money, the animal moves a little bit and you don't have a shot.
Yeah.
You got to move the sticks, and maybe you get it back on it, and maybe you don't. Maybe you lose that opportunity.
That's exactly, sometimes you example, Kudu bull, you pick up, fresh tracks, you track it the whole day, and then late afternoon, you get that once in a lifetime Kudu bull, and he's slow to get on the sticks. I always tell everybody, as soon as the tracker put the sticks out, get on the sticks. I will stand behind you. I'll tell you which one. And if you on the spot, you shoot him. Don't wait too long. Otherwise, you never know if you're gonna see a kudu like that again. So it's a opportunity that's lost.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't get too many opportunities on big mature kudu bull, and you got to make the most of them.
Yeah, and I've seen it. Normally, we take what the bush gives us. So if opportunity knocks, you take it. But sometimes you go out in the first hour or so, you see a really big kudu bull, and you work with it, and then sometimes you'll tell you, no, this is only day one. An animal like a kudu, if you see a big kudu, you take him. Yeah.
How often do you have guys that go out and there's like, okay, I'm interested in these animals. They want a pretty plain Jane hunt, right? Wildebeest, maybe Impala, blessbok, something like that.
Yes.
How often they go out and they see something like a water buck.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, this is a really nice water buck.
Yeah. That happened quite a lot. I always tell everybody, let's go out in the morning, don't expect too much. We go out, we take it easy. We will focus, say, on a kudu bull, but we see what we bump in. And then you, after a kudu or a whatsoever, and then you bump into, like you say, in a water buck. And what is that? And then that's a water buck. And then, yeah. So that happened quite a lot.
Yeah.
People, I don't know how it works here, but in Africa, we've got a lot of species and we've got a lot of game. So people don't know the game. They only say they book like a blessbok and Impala and a zebra and a warthog, but now you bump into a nyala. Oh, they're so beautiful. Or a sable, or even buffalo. What is that? That's a buffalo. That's a Cape buffalo. And then you can see the adrenaline is pumping, and then tomorrow or tonight by the fire, then we will start talking about it, and tomorrow they will ask you, what's the chance of shooting a buffalo? And then we take the big guns out. Yeah. That happened quite a lot.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about where you hunt, is that there's a lot of plains game there, and there's also buffalo.
Yes.
And so, like, even if you're only hunting plains game and you have no intention of hunting buffalo, you're going to see buffalo.
You're going to see buffalo. So that's why we all always carry big rifles. Me, Juan, Philemon, the older guys. And there's always a 375 always in the truck with buffalo ammo.
Yeah, I mean, just in case.
You never know. Yeah, you never know.
What rifle do you personally carry when you're guiding hunts?
I carry a 458 lot, Browning, old Belgium made, and it's fitted with a red dot. As you get older, your eyes are not so good anymore. That's what I've been carrying for years now. I got it when I turned 21.
Okay, so you've had that basically as long as you've had a PH license.
Just pick it up and shoot. I don't anymore. Yeah, no, that was a gift from my dad. So I know the rifle. It's not pretty anymore, but it shoots straight and it still do the job. Yeah.
Yes, I've talked to a lot of clients over the years that you've let them shoot your 458 a shot or two, and they've all really liked that.
The recoil is terrible, but it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
I imagine that rifle saved your life more than once.
Yeah, no, it saved my butt a couple of times.
Yeah.
No.
What bullets do you carry in that rifle?
At this moment, I'm using Hornady DJX, but most of our ammo is hand-loaded. For years and years, I used a South African make bullet called GS Customs. It was a flat nose solid 450 grain bullet, and they worked.
Yeah.
But later on, the DGX or DGS, that's what we're using at this moment. Yeah.
So we hunt a couple of different places, mainly in Limpopo, but we also hunt a little bit in the Free State, and we're starting to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about each place.
Well, the Free State, it's open plain areas. There's some of the areas that's got really high mountains. In winter, it's cold. I think it was last year we had some snow. We shot the kudu in the snow there.
Yeah, that was a hunt in June. And the guy, Johan sent me a picture of this kudu that had white stuff all over it. Yeah, and I was like, what is that? He's like, it snowed.
yes. Yeah, we shot the kudu in the snow. So, yeah, the Free State is totally different thing. I think if somebody wants to hunt in the Free State, they need a rifle like a 300 Win Mag or something like that. That's like a 338 Win Mag or something like that. That's got a little bit more long legs. But, the Free State, different species, red arabeas, black wildebeest, those kind of things. And then again, in Limpopo, all the bushveld species and the Badplaats area in Mpumalanga also, it's there's high mountains with valleys, a lot of open areas. So you shoot a little bit further. And your animals like a blazebuck or common reedbuck, that's where you get them. Yeah.
So, say in the Free State, you mentioned black wildebeest, red hartebeest, springbok there as well. There's zebra there, but you also have zebra in Limpopo. Val reedbuck,
mountain reedbuck, common reedbuck, and also in the Free State we've got the mountain zebras, Hartman zebras. So that's another big bonus up there. Yeah.
And so in Limpopo, got the great buffalo. There's great kudu and tons of impala, blue wildebeest,
good sable bulls. And especially blue wildebeest bulls. We've got really good ones. The Limpopo River or the Crocodile River, really good bushbuck as well. And we've got big giraffe bulls as well. So, on the bushveld, we've got a huge variety of animals. But even in the Free State, different species, different animals, but we got them.
Yeah, and completely different terrain as well. So it's a cool way of seeing two different parts of South Africa.
Yeah. Especially if you split up your hunt, maybe, and you cut it in half and you go to the Free State first. And it's a lot of driving, but it's worth it. Yeah,
there's some people that do that. There's some people that'll do their first hunt, say in Limpopo, and then they'll come back and want to hunt the Free State.
Exactly, yeah. That's how it works,
Yeah, so very good. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to hunting the Free State this year when I come back in July.
I'm sure you will enjoy it. We've got monster eland bulls up there in the mountains. It's a bit of a slog to get them out of the mountains. Cut them up and you carry it out piece by piece. But it's doable.
Yeah, that is really cool, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm going to ask you the question I'm asking every person that I bring on the podcast this year. You have to choose either a single cartridge or a single bullet to hunt with for the rest of your life. If you choose a cartridge, you can use any bullet. Choose a bullet, you can choose any cartridge. Or excuse me, So what do you think?
John, I think through the years, a 375 H&H, it's battle tested. It's proven. 375, you can't go wrong.
I mean, you make a good point with the 375. I've killed impala with it.
Yeah.
Guys take all kinds of plains game with it. You have several hundred yards of range, no problem.
Exactly.
You can kill buffalo, you can kill elephant, you can kill hippo with it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. If you carry a 375, you can go after buffalo, but if you bump into a nice impala, you can take him. It's not gonna, make a difference.
Yeah. And so it is a common practice sometimes, say if a guy is going to shoot a Klipspring or a Steenbok or a Diker with a 375, use a solid.
Yes, we just put a solid bullet in, but even with the DGX, if you want to shoot a Klipspringer, the bullet don't open up. So you can just use one kind of bullet or ammo. And that's it. That's another thing when clients come here. Some of them, they bring too many different loads. They must just bring, say, a 300 grain bullet, but now they're bringing a 300 grain bullet for a buffalo and say a 250 for impala and a 286 for this and this. Just bring a 300 grain and use it on everything.
So do you subscribe to the idea that a hunter should, if they're hunting buffalo,
Yes.
first shot should be a soft and then the rest solids?
Yeah, if it's a good, like a DGX, you can use that and in your follow-up shots, because you normally, a wounded buffalo, you shoot it in the face or in the butt. So it's one of the two, and you need good penetration. So, yeah.
So the DGX soft bullets you like even for the follow-up shots?
No. Just for your first shot,
Okay.
and then you switch back to the DGS.
No, for the solids.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
It's just, they work just better. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, say on the podcast hunt, Fernando shot his buffalo at a very close range with you.
I think something like 14 yards.
Yeah. And so his initial shot, he had a 375, shot it with a trophy bonded bear claw, made a real good shot with it.
Yes.
Turned around and ran away, and he shot it in the rear end with, I can't remember what type of solid it was, but
I think it was a federal, a sledgehammer.
Okay, so trophy bonded sledgehammer.
So, yeah.
So he was using the right bullet, and it penetrated like crazy on it.
It worked perfectly.
Yeah. So it was not necessarily a textbook encounter with the buffalo, close range surprise like that.
Yeah.
But he shot well, and he used the right bullets, and there was no drama at all with that buffalo.
Nothing at all. The buffalo, he shot it, he turned, shot it again. We got the follow up, paid the insurance, and it worked out very well.
Yeah, that buffalo, I think, went less than 50 yards afterwards and found
out. Yeah, he was bleeding. He was bleeding a lot. The first shot was spot on the shoulder.
You said when he hit that buffalo, that first shot, it kind of fell down and then got up, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And so probably when you got up to that buffalo, it was already dead, but you shoot it again just in case.
I always do it. We go up from the hind of a buffalo, and you put one bullet between the shoulder blades just to make sure. Because last year, I think the year before that November month, the last hunt of the season, that buffalo it already gave the death bellow, and we walked up to it, and the bull jumped up and he charged us like in really close, too close, and we finished him off, but it was too close.
Did that buffalo end up with a 500 grain Hornady in the face?
Yeah, I shot him in the Yeah, that was just a little bit too close.
Yes, that was. I heard about that story afterwards, and I was glad to hear that it went well. But that's why you got to be careful out there.
Yeah, no, you need to be careful. Always with any animal that you hunt, even if it's a little steenbok, if it's still alive, make sure that thing can hurt you.
Yeah. And it's also just a good thing to do for the animal as well.
No, put it out of his misery, but also on the safety side, you don't fool around with a wounded animal. It's hurt. It will try to escape or it will attack you. So one of the two. Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Kobus, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me about this. And it's been great seeing you, and I'm looking forward to hunting with you again.
Thank you, John. I'll be waiting for you.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, if you are a listener who does not know Kobus personally, he is a very quiet, reserved person. Doesn't like talking about himself a lot, but once you get to know him and once you get him to open up a little bit, he has some good stories. So I feel like we just barely scratched the surface on some of the stories that he has accumulated over his many years of hunting in this interview, but there were still some pretty cool nuggets in there, and I'll continue to work on him, and maybe we'll do another one in the future where he opens up even more and shares some more of these fascinating stories. Now, be sure to check out episode 356 to hear my interview with Johan Seifert, who's Kobus's partner and who also guides some of our hunts in Africa. And if you would like to book a hunt in Africa with Johan or Kobus or our other professional hunter, Christian, visit bestsafarihunt.com or email me, john@thebiggamehuntingblog.com. We will get you set up with a great hunt. Remember, you can make your dream hunt turn into a reality, and I can help. Thanks for listening. I'll see you back here next time on the Big Game Hunting Podcast.
This show may be over, but we have plenty more for you on our website. For more information on today's topic, as well as lots of other useful hunting resources, head over to thebiggamehuntingblog.com. We look forward to having you back for the next episode. But until then, happy hunting.